So real quick, while we don't have any questions right now, it sounded like David was unanimous there. So we're just going to go into our waiver wire pickups and then desperate players.
We'll still answer questions if you shoot
still
them
fire
over,
away questions, but we're going to try and get to the waiver wire so we can at least throw out a couple of our waiver wire options that we have for you for this week. So we're going to go ahead and start with you, David. Go ahead and give me a few names that you like for the waivers this week.
My number one waiver pickup for this week, the guy who I'm kind of breaking my rule. I try not to go with anybody who's rostered in over 50% of leagues. Currently, he is at 57.1. But what I saw this last week, it lands him in here. Pickens.
Jeez.
I alluded it earlier.
I think it's probably all three of our number one waiver pick this week, but the changing of the guard at quarterback, the highlights that we've already seen from this kid. Anthony Handy actually spotlighted him on the roundtable tonight for his rookie spotlight, and I learned some things about him that I didn't know.
And he got that dog in him.
Yeah. But just what I've seen, Rip, just the kid is special. I'm a little upset because I realized on Sunday that there was a slight possibility that while I was hoping that Sydney would have to live in mediocrity for the next decade, they might have just replaced Big Ben, AB, and Le'Veon with Najee, Pickens, and Pickett. And that's not fair. It's not fair.
I hope so anyway. I hope so.
That's watching the game on Sunday when they put Pickett, I always flip-flop their names. When they put Pickett in and he kept throwing the ball to Pickens, I said when we were watching, I'm like, oh no, there goes Chase Claypool. He's done because it's over. It's just done. It's definitely going to be Pickett to Pickens season, which is sad because I have Claypool, and I'm like, there he goes. He put up a goose egg, and it's just going to keep being low point. I don't see Claypool doing much of anything. So if you have Claypool especially, you need to try and go and get Pickens. Because that just shifted big time.
I'll just run through the rest real quick. Obviously, with JT out, I'm not, and we don't know if he's going to play, but he's probably not. I'm not in love with any of the other running back options over there, but I do think that Mo Alley-Cox obviously blew up this last week. He's rostered in 5.7% of leagues. If he's out there, especially if Taylor doesn't play this week, go and get him. Very intrigued.
He's stuck for the last 3 weeks before this week. I have him in a league.
I know. And like I said, that is 100% dependent on Jonathan Taylor not playing this week. Because if Taylor does play and he's healthy and everybody's good over there, then he goes back to what he was doing before. But this last week with limited options, they couldn't get the running game going. Obviously, that was the result. Josh Reynolds, 32.5% of leagues. His numbers have just steadily increased over the last couple weeks, and that team is just an enigma to me. But Brian Robinson, we kind of touched on that already. 50.6% of leagues. So in half the leagues out there, nobody pulled a Sid, stashed him on their IR. If nobody did so, go and get him. Because they do not like Antonio Gibson. And when your own team doesn't want you on the field, it's pretty clear what's going to happen after that. And then Kenny Pickett. I know it's a little too soon to tell, but like I said, from what I saw, I think that combo, that duo right there is going to be pretty special. If you're in a league with Sid, he probably already went and got him. But if you're not, go and see if he's out there. And then,
especially if you have Matthew Stafford, who's just not doing it for you right now. Yeah. Or like a Dak who's hurt. I had Mitchell Trubisky in a league, which was not great for me when they pulled him halfway, but he scored like, I don't know, the week before, like over 15 points. So it's not a terrible thing if you're like no option at quarterback, just to have like a backup guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there were two other situations, but I'm actually going to leave that until we get once we get them all out there, because I actually wanted to have a conversation with you guys both about Atlanta and Denver, because there's a lot of nuance going on in those situations and a lot of different players. So as far as defenses, Jacksonville and Miami, I think both have great matchups this week. Jacksonville, just as a whole, has been surprising. They're a lot better than people think. And I really like their matchups. So I will pass it off to you guys. You run through your waivers.
Nathan, you don't need to pick anybody up off the waiver because your team is stacked. I was looking at it last night. I'm like, his whole starting roster is great, and his bench is better than my starting lineup. So you're totally fine. Get away from the waivers and let us little people go at it, please. Because my team desperately needs somebody.
So we can avoid. I'll avoid the Falcons and the Broncos since you want to talk about that anyway. Because
that's the only ones I have.
I have some stuff about them, and I have some insight on that
first because I'm not good at waivers, and I only have a very small amount of things I can say.
Well, those are the only ones you have. We'll just avoid those and talk about those together. But obviously, Pickens has got that dog in him. Go get him. I like Pickett. I mean, too, if you need a quarterback, I like Teddy Bridgewater a lot this week. I just, again, think that offense has too many shiny toys for him not to shine. He's a very competent quarterback. He should get a couple touchdowns, be very fantasy relevant. I honestly would start him over Matthew Stafford this week. So definitely like him, and he's available in almost every league.
This is funny because look at what Nicole just asked.
Say that.
So Nicole just asked, okay, I have Wentz and Winston. Who do I drop and pick up?
Drop Wentz.
Tannehill, Smith from Seattle, Bridgewater, Miami, Wilson, New York Jets.
Dude, Gino went off this week.
I like Bridgewater this week. Long term, I actually might take Zach Wilson. I think they got a lot of weapons out there in New York, and I think they are going to be behind a lot and have to throw a lot. He'll probably get you a few picks every game, but he should score a few touchdowns. I like them. I like Bridgewater for sure this week. Probably Geno Smith long-term over Wentz and Winston, and maybe Zach Wilson. But Bridgewater for sure this week. Go get Kenny Pickett, too. He should be available because he should be able to shine. He's got a lot of shiny toys as well to use.
I'm picking up Jared Goff in like every league.
Yeah, Goff is another one. If available, go get him because they score a lot of points. As for running backs, aside from the Broncos and Falcons, seeing as those are the main ones, I like Isaiah Pacheco a lot. I think I'm calling him a little early because everybody is still big on CEH, and CEH is producing. But if you dive deeper into CEH's points, he's not getting the bulk of the touches, and that's why he's scoring. He's getting the touchdowns right now, and Isaiah Pacheco looks real good, and they got him in there a lot. I think slowly he's going to start taking over, or at least getting a much bigger role going forward. So I think this week is a great week to go stash Isaiah Pacheco for future weeks.
You have to scroll very far. I'm just telling you.
It is. I like. Who else was I'm just trying to see who is available. I went straight to the Let's Talk Fantasy League since that's the one Nathan talked about. Rashad White, the running back for the Buccaneers. Leonard Fournette is the guy there, but Rashad White, I think, almost had 50% of the snaps. So, and he's looking good. He scored a touchdown. He did fumble early, which usually they shy away from. If you fumble, you're usually done. But he kept playing. He played the rest of the game and actually looked really good. So
that's a good sign too if your team trusts you to go back out there.
Yep.
And run it again because a lot of times you fumble, you're done.
And with Zach Wilson coming back, I like Corey Davis a lot. They had a great connection early last year when Corey Davis was healthy. Corey Davis was the number one guy and then got hurt. So a lot of people forgot about Corey Davis, but he's healthy now. Zach Wilson's back. I think they have a little connection there, so I can see Corey Davis going.
If you're in a league with me, don't try to get him. Because I definitely don't want him.
And so that's another good one, I think, there. Now, let's go ahead and you get yours off the list, because then I want to talk about all these options that are available for these two teams.
Oh, for the Broncos and the Falcons?
Mm-hmm.
So, Cordell Patterson is on IR, so you should go pick up Tyler
Algier.
Yes, I said his name right. Go me. I'm trying to grab him in a few leagues because my running backs are slim to none in some leagues. Also, I had Javonte in like 3 leagues, so that's really depressing. So now I'm trying to get
Mike Boone.
So those are probably the top guys that people are going to be trying to grab. So if you're trying to like bid on them, you might have to bid quite a bit because those are going to be the top guys this week.
Yep.
For sure. Because they have injured.
I have a little more to say on it beyond that. Did you have anything else, David? Do you have anything else beyond that?
I have something to say. If you don't have Javonte Williams and you go to the waiver wire and try to pick up Mike Boone, you're just a jerk and you shouldn't do it. I hate people always do that to me. Where it's like, you didn't even need him. Quit playing defense. It's rude.
Maybe they needed a running back.
Also,
like, there's one.
Cade York is available in like every league, and I'm just picking him up to have 2 kickers because I hate my bench players. So catch me with 2 kickers. Cade York is a stud. I hate the Browns, but we love a rookie kicker.
And then what did you have to say about that, David?
What did I?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's start with Denver then. Okay, so obviously he's gone for the year.
Yes.
And then what's that?
I just said yes. Yep.
So obviously they got Boone. Melvin Gordon is a fumble machine this year. And then they went and sniped Latavius Murray. Where do you see this going? Because I mean, if they had that much faith in Boone, why go get Latavius Murray? Let Melvin Gordon ride backseat to Boone. I have not watched any film on Mike Boone. So where do you see this one going?
I personally like Latavius Murray out of this backfield. I do think Melvin Gordon is he's fumbled, I think it was 5 times in his last 35 carries. And if that's
so we should just get rid of that guy and play Boone and Latavius
But
Murray.
Mike Boone is who we don't know him at all yet. So
Exactly.
So this is a perfect opportunity for him to get out there and be that guy so I can win fantasy.
And I guess that's what I'm getting at is we don't know Mike Boone, but Denver does. And the fact that they immediately went and got Latavius Murray makes me feel like they don't trust Boone either. So
Boone's not a rookie either. This is his 4th year in the league.
Yeah.
So if he was a guy, we would know. Latavius Murray has been in the league. We know he's a guy.
A guy no more.
He just got signed. He scored a touchdown for the Saints and then got signed off their practice squad.
Yeah.
The next day.
I just think it's going to be a mess in their backfield in general. I don't like any of them. Like if I had the choice, I wouldn't play any of these fools.
I thought you were trying to go get Boone.
I mean, I'm going to because I have Javonte. So I'm going to drop Javonte because there's no point in having him anymore unless I do have him in a dynasty league, so I will just put him on IR and hope that he comes back next year and does amazing things because he really wasn't doing that great to begin with before he got hurt either. I just don't. If you can, I would just avoid their backs altogether.
Well, if you have Javonte, you have Jonathan Taylor, you have Cordero Patterson, you need to go get somebody. I think the long-term play is Murray. I think in the next week or two, Boone, because obviously Murray's not been there. He doesn't have time, but I think Murray is going to get all the goal line work. I think he's going to steal the goal line work from Melvin Gordon, who had it from Javonte. So I think Murray's the guy going forward there for sure. That's the guy what I would want if I don't need to start somebody now.
Yeah.
That's where I'm leaning too. I was hoping you had some film on Boone or knew anything about him.
I know this is his 4th year, and I
didn't
don't
realize
know
it was
him.
4th year. I thought he was
Therefore,
young. See, this is why you don't ask me about waivers because I don't know nothing.
Well,
what do you got in Atlanta?
Yeah. All right. So then over to Atlanta. And this one I think is very intriguing because obviously Cordell Patterson just went on the 4-week IR. So this isn't going to be a thing for the rest of the season. However, Patterson is far too old to be doing what he's doing anyway. I feel like I stayed away from him completely.
But he's been doing pretty good.
100%.
And he's same thing he did last year. It's like, how is he doing this well?
Yeah.
But then he gets hurt. So it really opened things up for Atlanta. Obviously, they have had multiple injuries. Was it Damian Williams?
Yep.
And they had one other running back that was hurt. Algier was coming in as like the 3rd or 4th option this year. And people keep getting hurt. And now he got his shot. He went, what was it? 49% of the snaps last week, 10 carries, 84 yards, 1 target that he caught for 20 yards. You would think that this is pretty clear cut that Algier would be the guy. However, the previous week, Caleb Huntley was called up from the practice squad. He got 1 carry, didn't do anything, whatever. Algier got most of the work as far as being the backup in that week. And then coming into this week, they knew Patterson was hurt, and they split carries very evenly. I think it was 10 for Algier, 10 for Caleb Huntley, and 9 for Cordero Patterson. So they just kind of put all of them out there and said, okay, y'all get an equal shot. Show me what you can do. But in the 4th quarter, it was Huntley who got the red zone goal line work. 10 carries, 56 yards. But he got the opportunity for the touchdown. Cordero Patterson also scored a touchdown, so maybe that would have gone to Algier in a timeshare between Algier and Huntley. Maybe they both get options. But for Atlanta to have called up Huntley 2 weeks in a row, knowing that they had Algier, they like Caleb Huntley. So, I know I was leaning towards Algier because he's more of the pass catcher. But if Huntley's going to get the goal line work, is this as clear cut to Algier as most people think?
I don't think it is, for the exact reasons you just brought up. That was one I was going to talk about Huntley for exactly that. Everybody's going to look at Algier. He's the name. He's the rookie, the higher draft pick that they drafted, and he's the one everybody's talking about right now because he's the known name. But I think Huntley. I think it's going to be a very split backfield, and it looks like Huntley's going to get the goal line work. And anytime it's a split backfield, I want the guy that gets the goal line work that has the opportunities at a touchdown.
You're just talking crap about CEH for getting the goal line work.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to continue to get the goal line work.
Why?
I think because he's a little guy. Isaiah Pacheco is bigger, faster, stronger, I think, from what I've seen. And it's just, I think they're just giving him time because he's a rookie to grow and develop. And like I said, it takes a few weeks before rookies to start to take over. And I think this is where we start to see that turn.
Tyler Algier?
No, because Huntley's also a rookie.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I didn't know that he was a rookie too.
Yeah.
They drafted both of them? They drafted 2 running backs?
So actually, Huntley this is his 2nd year. They had him last year. It's the 2nd year of the league. But based off of what we've seen so far.
Tyler time to figure out the system.
Huntley
will take over because Huntley's already been in the system for a year.
But he didn't play last year. I don't know where
there. I'm just asking. I don't know. It'll be interesting to come back and see which one.
It's very early
in the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's very early to know now. Yeah. But I think if you miss out on Algier or you're a lower waiver number and people ahead of you are going to go get Algier, I would put in for Huntley to hope if just in case he does be the one that pops, you got him. I think I don't
have Cordero in any league, so I'm not that desperate.
He was going to be one of my desperate players Huntley because he's got the chance to get the work, and I don't. And just like we were talking about, Algier is the one everybody's talking about. So I don't think a lot of people are going to look at Huntley.
Yeah. yeah.
That was your desperate player.
That's the one I was going to use just because, or Latavius Murray. Yeah.
Philip Lindsay was my backup, just because
JT
with
might
that
be out.
situation over there. But it's not like Taylor's going to be out that long. So, but I think Philip Lindsay is very intriguing for this week, and especially if Taylor misses a second week. But yeah.
Was over there.
Yeah, and he's not. There's another something Dion Jones or something.
Yeah, Dion Jackson.
That's the one.
But I was not enamored by what I saw on him. And Philip Lindsay, I mean, he knows the game. He's, more reliable. So that was intriguing to me because it's kind of a similar situation where they had Dion Jackson, and then when Taylor got hurt, they immediately pulled Philip Lindsay up from the practice squad. Like if you are, you grab another guy. So yeah, that's what I got.
Yep, no, I agree. That's what I had as well. So any other waivers, desperate times, desperate players, anything else? Any other questions you may have? Because I know you don't like the waivers, and it sounds like you need to hit the waivers.
I don't need to hit the waivers. I need people to trade me. Please trade me. If you're in the girls' league, just trade me. I'll give you Russell Wilson and Chris Godwin and somebody, Miles Sanders.
You can't sit here all episode and shit on these players and then be like, I'll give you them.
I talked about how great Miles Sanders did at the beginning, and Chris Godwin is a good receiver. I just don't need him because I have other good receivers.
Nathan said he's intrigued by Chris Godwin, by the way. A few episodes, comments back.
I'm intrigued by literally any of your running backs. Any of them.
I did have one final note here with Jahan Dotson being out, and under the notes for that, no, sell this team.
I was like, if you say go grab Curtis Samuel or something, I'd be like, don't do it. Wentz is terrible. Find a different receiver on a different team.
I disagree with that. I think Curtis Samuel is definitely okay to grab it.
I wouldn't.
That was for Sean.
This is for everybody. I wouldn't.
Curtis Samuel's definitely over my 50% threshold, I believe.
Yeah, he was available in a few leagues that I was in. I just saw him. So
okay.
Some of the leagues I'm in are only 10 team, and the bench is pretty small. So there's actually decent people out there, which are my favorite types of leagues because you don't get totally screwed if one person on your team gets hurt.
Because she's never heard of people like Latavius Murray.
I've heard of Latavius Murray.
Did you know he was on the Broncos?
I didn't know he was on the Broncos this year.
That's more my point.
He literally just got signed.
I know, but I
knew he was on the Saints.
That's.
Oh man, Sean is still there.
Oh no. Well, we don't care. They stink.
Love you, buddy.
It's amazing that Samuel is still not hurt, and Carson Wentz. Stop it. Go away.
I think he's got a point, actually.
I don't think he does.
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.